cameras, the introduction of a social worker program, and creating the Community Oversight Board. The borough plans to conduct a national search for the next chief, and they expect to appoint the next chief in late fall.
Authorities have begun investigating a string of robberies in Centre County and neighboring Blair County. The majority of these crimes have been taking place at gas stations, where victims have been present at the gas pump when the robberies take place, while some have been smash and grab robberies from unattended vehicles. Altoona police are reminding residents to be wary of suspicious individuals in parking lots. Anyone with any information about the robberies is urged to contact Pennsylvania State Police or Detective Wilson with the Altoona Police Department.
The Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry announced an investment of over $1.3 million into Penn State University's Agriculture Workforce Development Project. The project is funded by the Farms and Agribusiness Workforce Engagement Grant Initiative. Penn State's project aims to strengthen Pennsylvania's agriculture workforce. The project will register 1,000 farms and agribusinesses in the Commonwealth Workforce Development System, increase awareness of Pennsylvania Career Link services, provide targeted technical assistance, and more. What can students expect outside this Valentine's Day? Student meteorologist Gavin Sandell is live in the studio with this week's forecast. Gavin?
Well, thanks so much, Gianna. It's been a very eventful week here in Penn State and State College. Let's take a time-lapse view of what it has looked like today at Beaver Stadium. We've been contending with snow showers throughout the entire day. Started at morning. We had a brief break during the late morning, but it's been a little bit of a mixed bag recently. We've had snow and sleet, maybe a little bit of rain here, checking in now at 32 degrees at Beaver Stadium. And it is interesting, we'll have to worry about different types of precipitation as we go on throughout the night with our feels like temperature at 27. Talking about our weather headlines, it'll be a mess tonight with rain, sleet, and snow all possible. I'll give you guys the details coming up about that. It'll be a brief respite tomorrow where we'll see seasonable conditions. It won't be great in terms of temperature. They'll go up and down throughout the day, but it'll be fair in terms of partly cloudy conditions. Going into Valentine's Day weekend, we will see another mess in the works. Looking at our current conditions, though, 32 in State College, we're hovering at about the freezing mark across the Commonwealth, mainly upper 20s and lower 30s across the state. You could see different types of precipitation all across the board, and it's showing on our radar. A lot of snow impounding the area this morning and afternoon. We are seeing some mixture now, especially in Clearfield County, but going southwest towards Pittsburgh and the rest of Allegheny County, they are seeing rain. And this is all caused by a low pressure system that's really bringing two prongs of precipitation. You could see these convective storms to the south by Atlanta, Georgia, and the rest of the southeast, but also some snow up in the Great Lakes region of the United States. So an intriguing storm setup there. I want to talk about temperatures, though, as normally as you go into the nighttime hours, you go and decrease temperature, and you actually are increasing temperature. That low pressure system, as we get into the warm sector, is going to bring our temperatures above freezing overnight, which will lead us into snow starting and then going to a more of a mixture. And then as we go into the midnight hours and even the early morning, it should turn into all rain around State College. So when we wake up, there shouldn't be too much in terms of travel impacts, maybe a bit of lingering ice, but I wouldn't expect any school closures or anything of that nature. Though as we go into Thursday, I do expect all of that to clear out, maybe some lingering snow showers across the Commonwealth, but as we go into Friday, it should look good. Our next storm system, though, will be coming on Saturday. This is something we'll have to watch, especially post-Valentine's Day going into the weekend. We'll start with snow and maybe transition into another mix and rain situation, but that's something that we'll have to worry about coming up. I wanted to take a look at the temperatures, though, because look at tomorrow, 40 degrees. They drop off for Friday and Saturday, another warm-up in place on Sunday, but then as we go into Monday, there is no temperature there, but I promise it's going to get cold as we go into the next week. And this 6 to 10 day temperature outlook across the country really tells the whole story. A big area of blue across much of the Midwest and the Northeast. So over the next week or so, it will be cooler than average across the Commonwealth. For tonight, it's going to be 30 degrees to start. It will warm up as we go overnight. And it's going to be a mixed bag of precipitation starting off with snow, then turning to rain as we go into the early morning hours. That rain should subside. I expect this 45 degrees to be a morning high. It should cool off as we go into the rest of the day. We will have to worry about slightly gusty winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And looking at your 7-day forecast, it's going to be a wild roller coaster of temperatures going up in 45, then down in the 30s as you go into the Valentine's Day weekend. We'll have another system Saturday into Sunday. We'll have to check in later to see what those snow totals can be like, but then it will get chilly going into next week, maybe only 20s as we go into the Commonwealth.
Thanks, Gavin. Now stick around because after the break, Sophia Koch will have the latest in sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Sophia Koch with your sports update. Exciting news for Penn State football fans. Star linebacker Abdul Carter has officially declared for the NFL Draft. Carter made his announcement on January 10th after an impressive season with the Nittany Lions. Known for his speed and powerful tackles, he was a key part of Penn State's defense. Experts predict he will be drafted early, with teams like the New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Philadelphia Eagles showing interest in adding Carter to their roster. Penn State fans will be watching closely to see where he ends up on draft night. Tough times for Penn State men's basketball. The Nittany Lions are now on a 6-game losing streak after their defeat to USC Tuesday night. The team struggled on offense and defense and had unforeseen injuries for the players. Head coach Mike Rhodes says the team is working hard to turn things around. With only a few games left in the season, Penn State will need to step up if they want a spot in the Big Ten tournament. The team and fans are hoping for a big comeback in their next game on Saturday against Washington. Basketball fans, get ready. The NBA All-Star Game is almost here. The big game will take place on February 16th at the Chase Center in San Francisco. The best players in the league will compete in a fun and exciting matchup. Fans will get to see stars like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry show off their skills. Along with the game, there will be other exciting events like the Slam Dunk Contest and the three-point shootout. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. Get ready for a great night of basketball. A new sport has been added to the Summer Olympics, flag football. The International Olympics Committee has announced that flag football will be a part of their 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. This is the first time football in any form will be played at the Olympics. Both men's and women's teams will compete for the gold. The NFL has shown support, and some believe we could see former and current NFL players take part. With more countries playing the sport, this could be a big moment for football all around the world. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Kylie Smith has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Kylie Smith with your entertainment update. The Bob Perks Cancer Assistance Fund will be hosting the 13th annual Rock the 80s concert this Saturday. Local bands will be performing all the best 80s music to benefit and support local cancer patients. The event will take place this Saturday, the 15th at 7 p.m. at the State Theater. Attendees are encouraged to wear their best 80s apparel for a chance to win prizes for best solo and duo costume. General admission tickets are $40, so come rock the night away and support cancer patients this Valentine's Day weekend. Happy Valley Improv will be hosting an improv comedy show every Friday night here in State College. The show will go from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Blue Brick Theater. This event will consist of 3 long-form improv sets with surprise intermissions in between each of them. The company invites all students interested in improv or those looking for some entertainment to come out this Friday. Tickets will be sold online for just $15, so grab them while you still have the chance. Drake is looking to make Valentine's Day special, just as after Kendrick Lamar's brutal diss towards him at Sunday's Super Bowl halftime performance. Drake will attempt to make a comeback as he is releasing a new album with Party Next Door this Friday. The cover of the album was released yesterday, along with the album title, Some Sexy Songs for You. Drake and Party Next Door have done songs together in the past, so fans are highly anticipating a full album with the both of them, as Drake is anticipating a comeback in the music industry. Saturday Night Live is turning 50. This Sunday, SNL will be hosting their 50th anniversary special, Back Where It All Began, in Studio 8H. Saturday Night Live is bringing back more guest stars than you could imagine, from former cast members like Pete Davidson and Jimmy Fallon to celebrity guest stars like Sabrina Carpenter and Miley Cyrus. This jam-packed crew will come together to put on a 3-hour special, including live musical performances, celebrations, and of course, comedy. The show will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC and streamed on Peacock. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Annalise Hansen will be speaking with Ruby Teeter, a Penn State student-athlete. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Annalise Hansen, and with me tonight is Ruby Teeter, a student athlete here at Penn State. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Ruby.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so to start things off, what's your year in major?
I'm a second year, so a sophomore, and my major is biology with a minor in sports studies.
And what sports do you play here at Penn State?
I play club basketball and club soccer.
What inspired you to pursue both basketball and soccer here?
So I've played soccer since I was 2 and basketball since I was about 5. And I played high school, I played travel my entire life. I've played other sports too, but those were definitely my main 2, and I just wanted to continue them.
How do you manage your academic workload while also competing in 2 sports?
It's pretty tough. I would definitely say that my school definitely comes first, but I really try and balance it out. And days that I have practice, I know I have practice, so I really try to find those times where I don't have anything, so free time to fit in my schoolwork.
How do you manage your academic workload with studying, assignments, exams, alongside practices and games?
So with the basketball team, we actually travel a lot in the spring. And so we'll have weekends where we go away, and I just bring all my stuff with me so I can study. And then with soccer, it's more of like you have a game on the weekend that's like an hour away or home. And so it's pretty easy to like manage that.
What's your weekly training and conditioning look like?
In the fall for soccer, we have practice 4 days a week, and then games either Saturday and Sunday or just one or the other. And then in the spring for basketball, we just have tournaments on the weekends that are like, could be 5 days to 3 days, depends on where, usually pretty far, like we're going to Wisconsin and we went to Delaware. And then those practices are 2 days a week, which isn't as heavy as soccer.
So how has being a dual sport athlete made you want to pursue like your long-term career goals, or how has it affected that?
So I want to go into sports psychology or be a mental health coach, which is a field that I found while I was a freshman, actually. And it just really interests me to learn more about athletes and how their minds work with like injuries and anything that affects how they play their sport. And I've played sports my whole life, so I can relate to it. And I've had times where I'm like in my own head and can't get out, and I think it'd be really interesting to study that and then work at the professional level.
How do you handle pressure in high-stakes situations in both sports?
I would say definitely sticking to motivational like tactics, a lot of meditation, a lot of just like going through things in my head and telling myself like positive things. Yeah.
Do you ever experience fatigue or burnout, and how do you manage it?
Almost every day, I would say. It's really difficult to be like a bio major and also play 2 sports because it's just constant like work and constant practice and just balancing it back and forth. But you kind of get into like the flow of it with time management, which is something that I've also learned since I was little. So that helps a lot.
What's the most challenging part of switching between training for 2 different sports?
I would say the conditioning is like very different. So for soccer, like it's a lot more like running long distances and running quickly for a short distance, whereas basketball, like you need to be sprinting up and down the court constantly. And so like I felt that when I went from my soccer season to my basketball season, I was completely out of shape for basketball, even though I was in shape for soccer.
And then how do you mentally prepare for big games in both basketball and soccer?
Practice, for sure. I feel like if you don't prepare yourself properly, like practice-wise, then you're going to be more out of it mentally and physically. And so I would definitely say like practicing and like just working out by yourself or like getting things done that you need to get done.
Ruby, thank you so much for coming in tonight and telling us your experience as a dual sport athlete. Now stick around because coming up next, Nolan and Gianna will have the latest news from across the nation.
On Tuesday, Apple Maps renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. The change comes after a decree from President Donald Trump that was carried out by the United States Geographic Names Information System. This change follows the lead of Google, which began their own rollout of the new name as early as Sunday for some U.S. viewers. The tech company said that its map software would display Gulf of America and Gulf of Mexico in the United States and Mexico, respectively, but the rest of the world will be able to see both designations.
The Boy Scouts of America has seen a small increase in young people joining after their historic rebrand to Scouting America. The majority of Scouts are still boys, but the more gender-neutral name had almost 200,000 girls participating in Scouting America last year. The overall gain in membership is only up 2% from last year, but is still encouraging the organization as they try to move past scandal. The organization filed for bankruptcy in 2020 amid claims from tens of thousands of people who said they were abused as young Scouts. The organization plans to continue leaning into its message of inclusivity as it celebrates its 115th birthday this Saturday.
A United States Postal Service employee is pled guilty and is facing up to 20 years in jail for stealing more than $300,000 worth of money and valuables. 36-year-old Jovian Tijuana Hayes has pled guilty to federal charges of mail theft and unlawful transfer, possession, and use of means of identification. While working at the Costa Mesa Post Office in California, Hayes sold at least 20 checks valued at $284,000 by forging signatures. This is now the third time in the last few months that a UPS employee is being charged with large-scale theft.
The FBI is warning Gmail users of what they describe as the most sophisticated phishing attacks ever, powered by AI. Forbes reports that there has been a 49% rise in phishing attacks